1 week ago today, we sat down and talked about how Coach Prime had gotten one of the best players in the entire class of 2025 to come and take a visit to Boulder and why that was so key. Fast forward 1 week, we're sitting here today talking about that same prospect, four-star quarterback Antwann Hill Jr., one of the most coveted prospects in the class of 2025, and his commitment to none other than Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. We have got to break down why this is such a big addition, what this means going forward, and everything in between. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited that Antwann Hill Jr. commits to Colorado? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below, as those interactions may seem small. They truly are massive to content creators such as myself. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. First and foremost, who is Antwann Hill Jr.? Well, Antwann Hill Jr., as I alluded to in the intro, is one of the most coveted prospects in the class of 2025. He stands 6'5", 215 pounds. He plays for Houston County in Warner Robins, Georgia, and not only is he a top 100 prospect in the nation, where he comes in as the number 66 player overall, regardless of position, he's a top 10 quarterback in the class of 2025. And I don't know if you guys have checked out the quarterback class in 2025. It is absolutely loaded. Your top 10 quarterbacks in that class are all very impressive. Antwann Hill Jr. comes in at number 6, and he's a top 15 player in the state of Georgia, a state that year in, year out is one of the most loaded states in all of the nation. And it really makes complete sense that he would commit to Colorado. I know this is a massive name to be committing to the Colorado Buffaloes, and earlier today we talked about some other prospects in 2025 that Colorado fans need to be on the lookout for. If you didn't get to see that video, be sure to go back, check that one out, because I'm sure a name such as Amon Waller, a name we talked about today, a top 300 wide receiver in the class of 2025, I'm sure this move right here moves the needle for him. Because now you get to see a top quarterback, top 100 player join into that class. If you're a wide receiver, you already had to love what you saw going on at Colorado in terms of who your wide receiver coach would be, in terms of who the offensive coordinator is, and in terms of the level of the quarterback play we've already seen there. But now being able to look and see you have one of the best prospects in all of high school football committed to your class to be your prospective quarterback, that's got to move the needle. We talk all the time about how Coach Prime moves the needle, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is absolute proof of how much so Coach Prime moves the needle. 3 years ago, Antwann Hill Jr. wouldn't have taken a visit to Colorado. 3 years ago, Antwann Hill Jr. wouldn't have had Colorado on his radar. Schools like Ohio State, Penn State, Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Georgia, they would have gotten the lion's share of attention, and deservedly so. But that just goes to speak as to how powerful what Coach Prime has been able to accomplish at Colorado is in such a short amount of time. It is palpable. And if you are still not a believer, things like this have got to go a long ways into converting you into being a believer. Now, this is something we have got to talk about because we know Coach Prime moves the needle, so too does Antwann Hill Jr. This is a young man who, during his sophomore campaign, passed for over 3,600 yards. He had a 70% completion percentage. By the way, he broke his school's record for completion percentage, 4 completions, and oh yeah, to top it all off, he had a touchdown to interception ratio of 40 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That is big time, ladies and gentlemen, and now you're talking about him in a Sean Lewis offense. The reason why I say Antwann Hill Jr. moves the needle is because of something I brought up, something I just alluded to in relation to Amon Waller. The fact that other players are going to look as to who the quarterback is in Colorado's class, see that it's one of the most coveted prospects in the nation, and they are going to be more inclined to jump in that class. You talk about it from that perspective, then you add into the perspective that Brett Bartolone is the wide receiver coach, Sean Lewis is the offensive coordinator, and Coach Prime is the head coach. We've known this, that Coach Prime moves the needle, and moves like this, ladies and gentlemen, they go a long way to proving just how much he moves the needle. A year ago, Colorado was 1-11. Here they sit, having some of the most viewership in all of college football, having sold out game after game after game, It goes to prove what a palpable impact Coach Prime has had. And this is just the cherry on top. I have a feeling this 2025 class for Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes is going to be really good, especially with a win like this. Whenever you look at the skill set Antwann Hill Jr. has, other guys are going to want to jump in that class. We talk about it all the time. Your quarterbacks have an uncanny ability to be a magnet. Other guys are going to be attracted to that guy. They're going to want to play with that guy. It happens time and time again, and Antwann Hill Jr.'s ability alone will make him a magnet for other top players in the class of 2025, two of which we talked about today. Go check out that video. Can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down into the chat. Let me know what you're thinking about this fantastic addition as Coach Prime's class in 2025. I think it's about to surge. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.